Welcome to the Power of the Platform. I'm Darren Duffy, and I lead Wealth Management Business Solutions for Thomson Reuters. Today, we're going to be speaking with David Traynor, CEO of New Constructs, about the Robo Analyst. David, welcome. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So at Thomson Reuters, we operate an open architecture wealth management technology platform designed to offer wealth management solutions to our customers at the lowest total cost of ownership. And we're pleased that New Constructs and your research is on that platform. Right now in the industry, there's a lot of talk about robots. We hear about robo-advisors. We're confronted with chatbots on a daily basis. Robotic process analysis, or robotic process automation, I should say, is on the upswing. Now we have the robo-analyst. So is this something that's a gimmick, trying to capitalize on that phrase, or is it legitimate?
I think it's a great question. You know, we've seen robo themes and robotics affect a lot of industries, maybe for decades, automotive industry, for example. But the innovation in fintech has been relatively light compared to other industries. I do think that the robo-analyst can be more impactful even than the robo-advisor. Technology specifically that's going to go through and do all the diligence to help people fulfill their fiduciary duty of care is required. I think as the DOL has shined a light on the dark corner that is investment research, more and more people realize that a lot of the justification or the basis behind investment recommendations simply won't hold water in a fiduciary environment. And we need technology to meet this dual mandate, to cut costs. So how are we going to do the diligence needed to make investment recommendations that fulfill the fiduciary duty of care without some sort of technology? And so I think that technology is robo-analyst technology.
So you're using a form of cognitive computing, right? That's what's underlying the robo-analyst. And cognitive computing can do everything from completely automate a task or augment what a human being is doing. So where does the robo-analyst fall on that continuum?
Using the technology to make the process of going through the filing faster and more accurate. It's always been tracking everything that our analysts do. So we've been able to build a library of human validated instructions so that a machine can begin to parse more and more on its own. Not everything, but it gets all the tables, gets all the financial statements, so our analysts can spend time finding things buried in the MD&A and other sort of more difficult and dense portions of the filing.
So what are some of the risks with relying on the robo-analyst to augment what the human analyst is doing, and how do you manage those risks?
You know, our model's unique in managing that risk, and I think one of the real weaknesses in traditional data collection is that the people collecting the data don't build models. So they have no idea what they're collecting or why it might be wrong. And a big way we mitigate that risk is that we have models and rating systems that we've been publishing for over a decade that have an established and very impressive track record in terms of our stock ratings, our stock picks. And so the models use the data. And one of the best ways to find an error in data, right, is in a model, because your model can easily be messed up big time if you put one little data point in the wrong spot.
Do you think the fundamental research can stand on its own, or should it be combined with other types of research approaches to make something more holistic?
I think combinations are great, right? I think, though, that the fundamental analysis should be, no matter how small, is a critical component. I don't think you want to sort of overlook fundamentals entirely. I think you can get away with that for brief periods of time. I think it's risky. I don't think it's necessarily responsible. But is fundamental everything? Absolutely not. But it is a critical part.
The research that you do, it has a forensic component to it. Can you talk about that a little bit and explain what that means?
Forensic just means that we've got somebody going through every single one of these pages.
That looks like a well-worn filing there.
It's traveled with me a long time, right? I like to show this in all my meetings because most people don't even know what an annual report looks like anymore.
Is the New Constructs research, is it appropriate for all financial advisors?
I think the ideal profile is the discretionary portfolio manager. Okay. We've got a ton of traction there. Those advisors in particular don't always have the time to do the research they want to do for their clients, and so we were sort of, an off-the-shelf equity research department, right? They type in a ticker, get an answer. Whether it's a stock, an ETF, or a mutual fund, you've got that forensic deep dive into all the holdings of an ETF, all the holdings of a mutual fund, But for any advisor, we think it's helpful, especially if you're onboarding people and you want to help them understand what it is they're holding. I think you also want to be able to look your clients in the eye and say you've done your diligence.
What would you say some of the benefits are to advisors of using it through Thomson One versus having just a standalone instance of the new Constructs platform?
Sure, we've got everything in one spot. You know, you type in a ticker, you click and you get an answer. You get new Constructs answer, you get whatever else you get on Thomson One. We can also integrate with whatever portfolios or whatever tracking you have in place. So we can provide an additional layer of diligence and expertise embedded within your existing workflow.
So what's next for new Constructs? What kind of things do you have in the works?
You know, one of the things we want to do is kind of help people understand the whole capital stack. And look, at the end of the day, if there is a flaw in the fundamentals of the business that's not been exposed because people are too focused on GAAP or non-GAAP earnings, we want to be there to help our clients be able to react to that before it hurts their portfolio.
Excellent. I think that's a great approach. Well, David, thanks for coming by today. Thanks for being a partner, and we look forward to continuing to work together.
Thank you.
Thanks.